Fine, I'll do it myself.
Welcome to Find It, I'll Do It Myself. The Marvel Cinematic Universe tier list ranking
Review
podcast
thing.
exclusive to our Patreon, our patrons.
Yes.
Timed, limited, exclusive. To our patrons. I'm Mike, and with me as always is my brother Jason.
Hello.
And this is the first episode.
The very first
of this podcast, and the first thing we're putting on our Patreon. So if you're listening to this, thank you so much for checking this out.
Yeah,
Basically,
holy shit.
the idea behind this podcast is we are going to rank, or tier list rank, every single Marvel Cinematic Universe property, meaning the ones that are canon.
Yes.
So, we might find out down the road that something like What If is canon. We would add it at that point. We might find out that Daredevil's canon. We don't know right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things we don't know.
It'll be a constantly evolving. And then also, like, new movies will come out.
Yes,
And all that type of stuff.
But the idea of this first episode is we are going to rank these without having seen them in a long time, with the exception of obviously something like Spider-Man or Hawkeye.
Or Eternals or whatever, yeah.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen Eternals, but
I have, yeah.
But he has. So the idea is we're going to rank them all first, this episode. Then our next episode will be a specific movie we talk about. And then we will do an adjusted tier list, and we'll watch it again. We'll talk about it, and then we will adjust our ranking if we deem necessary.
Yes.
And by the end, which, thanks to Marvel, I don't know if this will ever end. By the end, we will have what we consider the best tier list.
Yeah, the definitive.
Fine, we did it ourselves. Here we are. I don't think there's anything else to explain with that.
I think it makes sense.
Jump right into it, Jason.
Fuck yeah.
We're going to go by order of release in the Marvel Cinematic Universe here, and we have this tier list thanks to Tier Maker. Someone made this. I don't know who did. They're probably cool. Check them out. We're going to start with Iron Man 1, Jason.
Dude, Iron Man 1, it's really fucking good, dude.
It's a very good movie.
You got you see, like, cocky-ass Tony Stark, pre-Iron Man. You see him fucking get half blown up. He comes back, and he kicks some ass. And it was the first one, so it was just like nothing like yeah, there was like Spider-Man movies at that point, right?
We had seen movies
they're similar
in the superhero genre that were good.
Right.
The first
But
X-Men was a good one.
Was the first Marvel fucking pop-off, dude.
This was the one where they were like, we're fine, I'll do it myself.
They said, fine, I'll do it myself.
Which is a double meaning of this podcast.
I have to give it an S tier.
I think
dude.
Iron Man is clearly an S tier movie. It's what started it all. It's, in my opinion, the best origin story that they tell throughout.
I don't know if I agree with that, but it's top 3 for sure for me.
What would be the best origin story?
Dude, I fucking really like Shang-Chi.
Okay. I think that's fair.
I would say that one is like my favorite like solo origin movie. Okay.
I'm going to go with Iron Man still, but I
it's definitely up there.
So Iron Man, S rank.
S tier.
Oh, we should mention that we have S, A, B, C, F, and dog shit. So
I don't know that we'll really have a bunch super low because there's so many good. Like I feel like we're gonna have to make some tough decisions, dude. Like bump some down just because it's like, yo, there's too many. Well, this is cringe.
I think this one is just the primary ranking doesn't have to be tough decisions. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
But when we actually are ranking them after watching the movie again, Should
we? Okay. So like for example, like just throw another one in S tier for a second. Like just a random one. Okay. It doesn't actually have to be S tier.
Incredible Hulk. There we go.
Incredible Hulk S tier, right?
Yeah.
Having it like that, therefore Iron Man is better than Hulk.
No, we have to do that. We have to put them in order. Yeah,
absolutely. I just wanted to make that clear to everybody else.
Yep.
the closer it is to the letter, the higher it is in that ranking.
Exactly. Speaking of not S tier, we have the Incredible Hulk, Ed Norton's Incredible Hulk, which is considered canon.
I have not fucking seen this movie in so fucking long. I don't remember. But I'm just gonna guess it's like fucking F tier.
So here's the thing:
I haven't seen it in so long. I was so young when it came out.
I'm gonna put it in F tier. I'm gonna agree with you on that, and here's why. When it came out, I was like, "This is such a good movie," right?
Okay.
And I think when I watch it this time, because it has been a while since I've seen it as well,
I'm excited to see it again.
I'm gonna be down on it, but the issue is there was an Incredible Hulk movie that came out a few years earlier, where Eric Bana is the Incredible Hulk. And it's made by Ang Lee, and it's a fucking terrible movie. It's so bad. And
so in comparison, you felt like it was good. In comparison,
I was like, yo, the Incredible Hulk. And then I was one of the people that when he's recast in Avengers, I was kind of salty about it.
Oh, you were?
I was like, Ed Norton's dope. Why are we recasting Ed Norton? Who's this fucking guy?
Mark Ruffalo.
And now I'm glad they did it because I ultimately think Mark fits better. But
I do love Mark Ruffalo.
At the time, I was a little salty about it, but we can talk about that more when we get to that movie. But that is an F tier movie. Up next, we have Iron Man 2. I think you and I are probably a little more positive on Iron Man 2 than the average person.
Yeah, I would think so.
But I think we still got to put it in C.
Yeah, I literally would agree with that. Because, I mean, when I think of, like, good moments, because, like, to me, obviously, part of it is that I was way younger when Incredible Hulk came out. But, like, I remember way more about Iron Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
And like him finding the new element, watching the stuff about his dad, kind of becoming more of like backseating his business and just becoming more of like the actual like superhero.
Yeah,
he's kind of taking more responsibility and coming to grips with like other people are powering up because he's powered up.
But this movie also has some very bad things in it.
True.
There's some very poor things. So I think C's fair. I'll be excited to see what we do with it when we watch it again.
Yeah.
Up next is Thor.
I like Thor.
I like Thor, but his eyebrows, dude.
Yeah, his eyebrows are pretty cringe. I think Thor 1 suffers from it just being such one of the like newer ones. Because like comparing it to other versions of Thor, like in the MCU, like as they like fix his eyebrows, and then also he just becomes less like whenever, like for example, like Ultimate Alliance or whatever. A lot of times he can seem kind of cringy in how he's so like Asgardian and like
yeah.
But I like how they like humanize him more. I would say it's a B tier movie.
I would say so as well.
I would say like low B tier. Like I think it'll start
comedy,
getting bumped down.
Some good fish out of water comedy.
Yeah.
It doesn't suffer from a lot of the stuff that its second movie, the sequel, suffers from, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I think it's a fine movie. Captain America: The First Avenger. Adventure? No, Avenger, Mike. The First Avenger.
Dude. I think this is where we'll disagree, dude.
Okay.
I dislike the first Avenger.
No, I don't disagree with that at all.
Oh, you don't?
No.
I think it's pretty bad.
I think it's fine, but I think it's worse than Iron Man 2.
I would agree with that, dude. There's going to be people who are triggered, dude.
Better than Hulk?
Yes.
Not F tier.
I want to say it's F tier. It's C tier.
Yeah. C tier behind Iron Man 2 for sure.
Yeah. Like you see like fucking weak ass Captain America, and then he turns into Captain America. I feel like the action in it was like pretty subpar.
What about Dum Dum Dugan, dude?
Dum Dum Dugan is fucking poggers, dude. I love Dum Dum Dugan, especially in Ultimate Alliance. But ultimately, it's a C tier movie. I don't know if it was like a chemistry thing, but I feel like a lot of the relationships in it feel kind of fake.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't
like I don't believe that him and Bucky are really friends, to be honest, in this one. I think they do better in the later movies.
Which is weird because they're not supposed to be friends.
Right.
At least when we meet Bucky again. But.
Right. But I feel like I feel like I don't know if it's like the actors themselves or what, but I feel like it's more believable that he's friends with Bucky later.
But this is ultimately like while we're agreeing it's a C tier movie, it's ultimately a movie that had to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
The Avengers. That's an S tier movie. Dude.
Yeah, no question.
It's the best movie we've talked about so far.
Yes, by far. There's a reason that like even in like Hawkeye, there's fucking scenes from that movie, and I'm like,
we're still feeling repercussions from it. The only thing I'll say negative about it is some of the dialogue is very terrible Joss Whedon bullshit.
Yeah,
and obviously Joss Whedon, there's been some shit come out that he's not a great dude or a good director in a lot of ways. But outside of that, I think his writing's overrated. I think he did a good job with this movie, but I think this is like making mac and cheese, dude. You really gotta fuck up to make mac and cheese.
True.
It's bad, right?
True.
And
especially with everything already set up, right? Like they had already had their own movies,
right? Like he really had to fuck this up to fuck it up, and he didn't, luckily. But there's just like hey Thor, what's Loki's play? No one fucking talks that way. I don't care if you were frozen for the last 100 years, as a fucking popsicle. No one says what's his play. No one. You professional football players who run plays every time they get out on the football field don't go, hey, Aaron Rodgers, what's his play? No one says that.
Mike's been wanting to say that for a long time.
I've been wanting to say that that's the whole reason for this podcast.
It's just for him to say that.
For me to
Who knows if there will be another episode after this?
Fucking woman hater Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
Up next is Iron Man 3. This is a controversial one. What do you think about Iron Man 3, Jason?
I like it, but I ultimately think that what is it, like the what's his name? The extremist dude.
Oh, the Mandarin?
No. Like
Adrian Fuck.
What's his name? I can't think of it. I can see his fucking face. Like it's been so long since I've seen it, but I feel like Killian. I don't know, dude. He's fucking cringe.
He's a little cringe.
I like the Mandarin way more, even though knowing he's like a fake.
Yeah. You'll never see me coming. I really like Iron Man 3, actually.
I like it as well. I think the main villain's
criticisms
cringe.
of it that people had were bad. He's barely Iron Man. Okay. Like, it feels like a classic action movie in the best way, in my opinion. Like, I mean, obviously Shane Black had a lot to do with it. He's the guy who wrote Die Hard.
Okay.
But I just really like it. I think it's an A-tier movie. It's not an S-tier movie.
I would have said low B.
Low B? I'll concede to that, but then I will argue to the death when we watch the movie.
That's fair.
So, behind Thor? I think it's better than Thor.
I would say it's better than Thor.
Okay. Thor, get on there, buddy. There we go. All right. Speaking of Thor, we have the Dark World. The consensus, if you polled every Marvel Cinematic Universe fan, like in a Family Feud style poll, this would be the worst movie.
Survey says
Thor: The Dark World is the worst movie.
Dog shit.
Now, I have not seen this movie since theaters.
Yeah, me neither.
And I'm not...
Actually, I think I saw it once outside of theater.
I'm not a highly critical person.
Me neither.
Like, I tend to watch a movie and go, that was fun. And then later I develop more opinions on it after, like, reading more or watching it again or whatever. I did not like Thor: The Dark World as I was watching it, which is a big deal for me. Because normally, like I said, it takes a lot for me to go, ooh.
Yeah, I would say the same. Like, for example, when I'm watching like the new Star Wars movies, I wasn't sitting in the theater like maulding in the theater. I was having a good time.
You ended up thinking, okay, maybe I didn't like.
But then later, I would be like, okay, this didn't make sense. This didn't make sense, or whatever, right? So I'm good at enjoying movies at the theater. It's just a good time as well.
Right.
But yeah,
I'm gonna say dog shit.
Yeah,
I'm putting in dog shit. Hopefully we watch it again and we see it in a better light. But yeah, I mean, this is.
I'm kind of excited to rewatch it.
Yeah. This is the reason this tier exists.
Yeah,
is for Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, pretty much.
A movie that is much more universally liked is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. The second Captain America
one
movie.
I took so long to watch.
Yeah,
I just, for whatever reason, like, I think maybe I had to work or something when it came out or whatever. Like, I didn't end up seeing it with the family in theaters or whatever. So I never saw this one in theaters. I watched it on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever the fuck.
What do you think of it?
I would say I don't feel like there's like too much that's memorable in it, in my opinion. But I don't have anything where I'm like, I hated this, if that makes sense. Like, I don't feel like it's got super memorable moments either way.
Okay.
Like, I'm not like, yo, this was super fucking cool, or yo, this was super fucking stupid.
So
the only thing that I ever really feel like I see referenced from this movie is when the fucking helicarrier crashes and shit.
what about
That's like the only scene I can really
he's
remember.
holding the helicopter to the thing?
Oh, that was in this movie?
Yeah.
I didn't remember that was from this movie.
He's bulging out of his fucking arms, dude. That's a good scene.
That is a
also,
good scene.
another scene I'll tell you, the Winter Soldier knife flip.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're fighting in the street, and he
I've
does
seen
the
that
fucking
gif.
knife flip.
I've seen that. I've seen that
dope.
gif a lot, yeah.
So, a lot of people will tell you this is the best Marvel movie, or at least they would have a few years ago. Maybe some people have changed on that. I think it's an A-tier movie, but I don't think it's the best.
I would say it's like low A.
So we're gonna put it in A for now, and we'll see. We'll see. But dude, the knife flip is fucking sick.
I'm even thinking high B, but we'll keep it in
We'll
A.
keep it in A. A's a little lonely. We'll put that in A. Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm just gonna say it. It's S tier.
It's S tier.
It's fucking S tier.
It's probably my favorite movie we've talked about so far.
Yeah, I would agree.
So, Guardians of the Galaxy, when it came out, I saw in theaters 5 times in 1 week.
It was really fucking. I think I saw it 3.
I just really love this movie. I really identify with a lot of the characters.
Yeah.
And what they do.
It felt like such a fucking like, just out of nowhere thing too.
Right.
I feel like the marketing for it was just like kind of random as well.
Yep.
Because I didn't remember not even knowing that it was like a Marvel movie until it came out. And then they're like saying it's the #1 movie of the summer type shit.
Literally
right?
at this point, the only reason anybody was going to see this was because of the track record that they'd already built with these other movies.
Yeah.
Right?
And then like hearing from other people, yo, this movie was fucking awesome.
Because people were like, wow, they're really trying with a comic book that no one really knows about. Which isn't fair to say, because there are people that were fans of Guardians before. But
it's super well done.
I wasn't, and now I'm a huge fan. And this movie had an impact on these kinds of movies.
Oh yeah.
You know how many times DC has tried to throw out like Bohemian Rhapsody?
Oh
in a
yeah.
fucking trailer, and it's part of the movie kind of shit. Like they revolutionized that for a little bit, where everybody was trying to be the copycat.
Everyone was trying to have like music, like moments where the music was like the main thing,
right?
With stuff happening, like not really much dialogue, like that type of stuff.
Honestly,
it
cool. Does it well, but not as well. Like a movie like Baby Driver,
does
it way better, right? And it came after, to be fair,
yeah.
But like, it does it well, but not that well.
I think like it does it well, but I don't think that they were. Like in Baby Driver, there's like where like literal parts of the scene like line up with the music or whatever, right? I don't think that they I feel like they purposely didn't like care about that in this.
Right, for sure.
Like it's just more about the vibe that it gives.
Definitely, I agree.
But
so, yeah,
what I really like about it too is like I didn't know about the Guardians of the Galaxy until watching the movie. And then obviously it's been in other forms of media, video games and all that stuff. But having read like some of the comics for it too, I feel like they did a really good job of adapting it.
Yeah.
Having been like the first adaptation of it.
They didn't just
film.
take it straight from the comics, but they took a bunch of different things from the comics and made it into this really cool.
Using the actors too. Like the actors I feel like really own the characters as well in their own way.
Like Drax was kind of like he's personified in the movie.
Yeah.
But now that is Drax. Like if you play Guardians of the Galaxy, the guy in the new video game, the guy's basically doing his best Dave Bautista impression.
Right.
Like he does it really well. And honestly, a lot of people have said he does it better. And I don't know if I agree with that or not. But like that's Drax now.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, because he was, if you take that part of that character, he's kind of boring.
Right.
Honestly.
Right. All right. Moving on. We have Avengers Age of Ultron. This one's another divisive one.
I really like this movie.
I like this movie. I, for a long time, have been an Age of Ultron defender or apologist, if you will. I don't think it's nearly as bad as people say it is. I think what hurt it initially was they had these really cool, creepy, dramatic trailers for it.
I remember
strings on me, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, Ultron's gonna kill everybody."
I remember everyone being like,
nearly as dark as that.
Yeah, I remember everyone being like, "Yo, this is like the most DC Marvel movie.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be dark as hell."
DC Marvel movie, LOL. I still think it's a good movie. I think it's in the B range. It's not as good as Avengers.
No.
I think it's a decent follow up, and I think it does help set up a lot of stuff. But like ultimately, I think what they should like, I think Civil War is ultimately a better like Avengers follow-up, but it's not even an Avengers movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I can agree with that.
I think they learned some lessons from Age of Ultron that they applied in Civil War.
The one thing I would say about Age of Ultron that I have like gripes with, as I definitely feel like Ultron is like nerfed, but like obviously he's like a one film bad guy.
He could have been a lot more powerful.
Yeah. That's the only thing where I'm like, eh.
And I feel like they didn't let Robert California cook, dude.
Honestly, yeah, they didn't
let James cook.
They didn't let him cook, dude.
I'm a little upset by that because I wanted.
He has some good moments.
He has some good moments, but they didn't let him cook. They didn't give him the kitchen and say it's all yours.
Yeah,
and that's a little upsetting. Where would you put it? Because I'm in this area.
Yeah, I'm saying either like the very bottom of A or the very top of B. That's where I would guess.
Okay, I'll put it above Iron Man 3. Even though I'm not sure I love that. Up next, speaking of things I'm not sure I love, Ant-Man.
Dude, I love Ant-Man. Especially because it's like, it introduces so many things that are now, like, for example, like the Pym arrow in Hawkeye or whatever.
Yeah, Pym's a big deal in the Marvel universe.
I also really love all of the, like, underground, like, bug scenes as well with, like, the ants.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool. It also brings in all of the like quantum shit into it.
Mm-hmm.
Hank Pym is a fucking dope ass character.
So I like this movie. It's fun. Paul Rudd's great in it.
Yeah.
I think it suffers from, and I'll say the same thing when we get to Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yes, it's inconsequential, right? Like there's not a lot that, like, obviously, like you said, it sets up some stuff for the lore of the universe, but nothing happens.
Yeah, no, I can get that.
Not, and I'm not saying that every movie has to have something happen. Like Shang-Chi is a good example to me of a movie that isn't super involved in like the universe, but still like feels like a weighty, fun adventure.
I would say that's totally true, and I totally agree with you, because at the end of Ant-Man, what happens? He's just still in his fucking house, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really change like the day-to-day of his life type thing. And obviously because there's like complications with like his kid and want to be there for his kid and like all that type of shit. But like at the end of the day, like Shang-Chi's life is like ultimately completely turned upside down.
Yeah.
So even from the own character, like the own main protagonist of the movie, it feels like at the end of the movie that ultimately, like obviously huge things have changed, but the vibe that you get is that it's like, okay, well now
He's
I'm
still
like
just
chilling
hanging out in San Francisco trying to get custody of his daughter. Or whatever,
right,
you know.
Right. If there was something where it's like, okay, now and that you get a bit more of that in like Ant-Man and the Wasp, where like, okay, now he's like trying to figure out stuff about like the fucking quantum realm and like shit like that. I think it definitely does that better, where it feels like, okay, now we're on to something
for sure
with the end of the movie.
Where would you put it?
I would say
I'm thinking right here. Do you like it better than that?
I would say above Iron Man 2.
So still C, but above Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
Okay. I might like it better than Thor.
Yeah.
I might like it better than Thor. We might end up moving Thor down to C. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Iron Man. Captain America Civil War. It should be called Iron Man Civil War. It's me.
Iron Man was right.
Hashtag Iron Man did nothing wrong. Where would you put Civil War, Jason? What are your overarching thoughts on it? I think it's better than Age of Ultron. I think it's an A-tier movie. Let me just start by saying that. I think it's an A-tier movie.
I think so.
I think it doesn't exactly do the Civil War storyline right.
No, not really.
Because it's more just about Bucky and Cap. And this, I mean, we'll probably have an hour discussion on this fucking movie.
Yeah. We'll talk more about it later.
But I still like it. I like the introduction to Spider-Man. It's the first time they really take like
Black Panther.
And Black Panther. So yeah, they do it twice in this movie. They take a really important character that's going to have their own movies and introduce them.
Yeah.
You could argue Scarlet Witch, but she also is in a couple other movies before she gets her own show. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they did it in Iron Man 2 kind of with Black Widow, now that I think about it. I forget about that.
Yeah.
But
well, that was one of those things where like in Iron Man 2, like, okay, yeah, that's Black Widow. But I felt like there wasn't it wasn't obvious what they were doing. Like they were going to have this whole fucking cinematic universe at that point.
For sure. They were just getting started there.
Yeah.
It's a movie that has its problems, but it's a movie I really like.
I definitely like it, but I also feel like it doesn't really have like only for like it feels like for only like another movie does it feel like it actually has like repercussions. Yeah. Like what the fuck does Civil War change about anything in current MCU, right? Like we're obviously it's like a whole phase ahead or whatever, but like or two now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I know it changed some things, but like you're right. The like
ultimately,
if we're talking about like the chords,
yeah.
I mean, what are they doing? What are they doing about Shang-Chi? Right? What are they?
Right.
The chords don't really. Spider-Man, they find out his identity even, and they don't do anything.
Yeah.
So you're right. I think the ultimately the repercussions come from the relationship between our two most popular Avengers and Captain America and Iron Man. But even then, they kind of make up at a certain point. So
yeah.
You're right.
It feels like they're only like mad at each other for like a movie or two.
Right. Still a good movie though.
Yeah.
I think A tier in front or behind Winter Soldier.
I would say in front of, but I've watched Civil War more times, so yeah. I'm excited to see what we do with that.
Okay. Up next is Doctor Strange.
I really like Doctor Strange.
So this is going to be a disagreement between us because I actually really don't like Doctor Strange.
I really like Doctor Strange.
I just think
I like how he's a fucking asshole at the beginning.
I do like,
and then he gets his shit fucked. And then he becomes like a fucking like a homeless man.
Yep.
And he's just like a shattered human being.
And that's the thing. Okay, this is what I'll say. I like the first half of the movie better than the second half of the movie.
I can agree with that.
I like that he has his downfall. I like that he starts to be a better person. I just think he's super ineffective as a superhero. Like everything he does, he kind of just stumbles into. Like, and this even like happens later on in like when he's in Spider-Man, and I think it's gonna happen in Multiverse of Madness. He just kind of stumbles into like winning.
I can see that.
And then he acts like he's this super smart badass guy, but like he kind of wings it. Like when in Spider-Man, this is a spoiler for Spider-Man. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what the fuck you're doing listening to this podcast, but when we find out that Wong is actually the Sorcerer Supreme, I was like, hell yeah, dude. Someone who knows how to get shit done. You know? Yeah, let him be the fucking sidekick. You know? Like,
and he's like wearing a fucking hoodie. I don't know. I think in this, you make a good point because it happens even in later movies, like it shows up. But I would say that he would get a pass in this movie because
he's new to
it.
Fair.
And that's the idea when she's supposed to say, like, oh, he's supposed to be the best of us. Like, he's going to be the Sorcerer Supreme.
Right.
Like, it makes sense in that way.
I don't know. I feel like the ancient one doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. Where do you want to put this one?
I would say, like, I'm
gonna say it ain't an 8. It ain't an 8.
No. I'm debating if whether I put it either behind Thor or above Iron Man 2. So either bottom of B or top of C.
We'll put it here because you like it more than I do. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I really like it. Also, I'm not super in love with the villain. But like, I feel like if you were to have some crazy ass villain in the first Doctor Strange, it would kind of.
Well, they kind of. This is part of my problem with it. Is I feel like they kind of ruined Dormammu out of the get go.
Yeah.
Which I get it. Dormammu's like, okay, they went with what you said about Ultron, where they nerfed him.
Yeah.
They made Dormammu the most powerful version of Dormammu, and then just got rid of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like, oh, that's kind of late. I
don't know.
Dormammu and
you could say
Marvel
that like
versus Capcom isn't that strong. You know, I just I'm just kind of like they could have. Man, maybe he'll come back. Maybe he comes back in the next movie. I don't know, but I was a little disappointed with the implementation of Dormammu.
I don't know. I was fine with him being like normally like a tier 3 villain usually for him, or like a tier 2, like not super OP, like almost like a side villain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then making him seem like this super big bad, and then like kind of nerfing him, or like he just kind of gets fucked. Like I was kind of fine with that, but the thing that I most like about Doctor Strange is like finally getting to like the fucking like Mephisto type shit, and like all these fucking
Yeah.
artifacts and shit. And I always thought that was the coolest fucking shit in like Ultimate Alliance
Yeah.
and shit.
For sure.
You're just literally going to hell
Yep.
and like killing demons and shit.
Yeah.
Like I hope they do shit like that.
We'll see in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
see.
I'm excited.
Up next we have Guardians 2. Whew.
I really like Guardians too, dude.
I like Guardians 2.
I remember when we were talking about Infinity War before it came out, because we were like, okay, they're gonna go back in time type shit, right? Because it was pretty obvious that that's what's gonna happen. I remember thinking, okay, everyone gets nerfed going back in time except Star-Lord, because I thought they were gonna, like, with how they were doing it, possibly like they could run into Star-Lord because he had the Power Stone at that one point, right?
Uh-huh.
And he would still have like power, like he would still be connected to Ego because Ego would still be alive.
Right. You thought they were gonna bring back?
I thought maybe it would be like he'd be fucking OP for a minute, like they'd give him that
Right.
moment.
No, instead they
He's not even fucking there.
well that
until
and,
the very
and a
last
lot of
minute.
people hate Chris Pratt now because of something Star-Lord did. Anyway, I still think this is a good movie. I
Yeah.
think it's not nearly as good as the first one. I think it's funny,
Yeah.
but I think the plot suffers slightly. Like
Well-
I think it's as funny, but the plot suffers.
The plot definitely suffers because it's very obvious very quickly. How they foreshadow is pretty shit.
Right. You know Kurt Russell is not a good man.
Yeah. Like pretty much immediately.
Right.
I really like the fucking soundtrack though. I didn't think they could do like a good one after, like, because I was like, they fucking used everything in the first movie, goddamn, and then they still had some fucking bangers in the second one.
Let me say this. I think it's better. I think it's an A-tier movie.
Yeah.
I think it's not as good as these two, but it's up there. But to me, this is like Guardians is possibly my favorite Marvel movie, and it wasn't nearly as good to me.
Also, how this motherfucking movie make me cry too, dude.
That's the thing. And I think a lot of people overrate it because that last scene is very emotional
Yeah.
and very well done.
Yeah.
They really made you care about fucking Merle from The Walking Dead. But to me, that doesn't make up for the rest of the movie being a little plotting and just a little weird. And
I do like the foreshadowing type shit that they do too, with like the gold people.
Yeah.
And I really like the intro as well.
I think what we'll find as we're going through these, that some of these movies suffered from kind of being in a holding pattern into the next Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Like they did a story with Guardians, but I feel like they were nervous to do too much before like the next Avengers because they knew they were gonna pull them all together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess there's no way we could possibly know that, but that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. I could see that being the case. We'll see when we go through them again.
We'll see. Up next is Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming. So I gotta ask you this question right now, even though this has nothing to do with our tier list. I'm gonna set that down for a second. When you find out that this girl's dad is the fucking Vulture, did you know? Because I didn't know. This is one of the most, to me, this is one of the most well done like twists in a movie in a long time. And maybe I'm just a fucking idiot, but I was like, wait, what? He's, her dad's the Vulture?
I don't feel like I feel like I knew. I don't remember.
I remember being so impressed by that scene in this movie. I don't remember much else about the movie.
Yeah, it has like good moments with like him like being locked in like the Stark bunker or whatever.
Yeah.
The fucking insta kill mode shit. All that shit is cool. And he definitely feels like he feels very young, especially compared to the newer movies.
Mm-hmm.
If you compared Homecoming to like other Spider-Man movies, like the first movies, I would say it's pretty good. But like comparing it to other Marvel movies, I feel like it's just like solid, if that makes sense.
Okay, so where do you want to rank it?
I want to say it's like below Doctor Strange, honestly.
Okay.
What do you think?
I'm going to call an audible here. I don't like this.
Yeah?
I think he's going down here.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I like that.
I think Thor needs to go down here. I think the eyebrows move him down a tier.
Just the eyebrows.
Just the eyebrows. So Thor's down C tier.
Also,
Spider-Man in low B tier.
Also, yeah,
behind Doctor
you know
Strange.
what? Another reason why Thor's in C tier is like his fucking friends are cringe. They're fucking cringe theater kids, bro.
They are not as cringe in the first one as they are in the second one.
That's true too.
Speaking of Thor, we got Thor 3 Ragnarok.
Dude, I fucking
Best Thor movie.
I fucking love this movie, and that's why I'm so fucking excited for the next one, dude.
Yep. Taika Waititi really turned around the Thor franchise
fucking
after
popped
it being
off.
a little dwindling for a while here, with as noticed as these two movies being in the bottom half. This is an S tier movie, Jason.
Yeah, absolutely.
An S tier movie.
S tier movie. It fucking brings Thor's like character development up. Like, it literally does more than both the other two films combined. IMO. It fucking there's like subplots with Loki and Hulk. Slash Bruce Banner
And Valkyrie.
And it's got motherfucking Jeff Goldblum in
That's
it.
true.
It's an S tier movie.
I think I still want to put Avengers in front of it.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Because Avengers were just so. It's just such a big deal.
Yeah.
Putting these characters together and making this movie work.
Well, one other thing too, and I feel like it really kind of like the other movies kind of unshackled it a bit too, where like Odin was like fucking going around getting the fucking Infinity Stones. Like you're able to like talk about it more freely, and like people knew more about the overall universe and
right. Thor, the first Thor movie had a hard job.
It's cool.
Sure. Up next, we have Black Panther.
Dude, this fucking movie's god tier as well, dude. I really fucking like it.
Okay, you're saying it's S tier.
I would say, if not S tier, the very top of A tier.
So I'm going to put the very top of A tier, and here's why. I think it's a very good movie.
The ending fucking CGI.
That's exactly it. I think it's a very good movie. This movie's very important to a lot of people who, didn't really see a lot of African superheroes on the screen. You know what I mean? And I completely understand that, and I think it's awesome, and I think it's a great movie, not just for that reason, but for a lot of reasons. But the CGI at the ending is so bad.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking bad.
And it's basically the plot of Lion King.
Yeah, kind of.
That knocks it down from an S tier movie to an A tier movie to me.
I can see that. I also feel like Ulysses Claw's character is a bit weird. Like I felt like they were gonna do more with him, and then he just fucking gets.
You shot him in the face.
Gets fucking killed.
Yep.
That was a bit random.
But you're more saying that because you like that actor a lot too.
Well, no, I also like normally how his character is like like for example in Ultimate Alliance 3, like infinitely more, like even though like comparing it to other villains, he's kind of like Green Goblin-y, right? But like I feel like that version in Ultimate Alliance 3 is ultimately cooler. Like he's just kind of a quirked individual in he's got some fucking screws loose in fucking
definitely.
Black Panther. Whereas I feel like he could have definitely been more if they didn't kill him off.
Yep. I still think A tier's a good ranking here. This is a good movie. I don't want to hate on it, but like those two things bother me a little bit. Because when I thought about it, I was like, wait, that was basically Lion King.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really good movie. Chadwick Boseman.
Yes.
Fantastic performance. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in power, King.
Rest in power.
Just incredible performance. And whenever he's T'Challa, it was great.
Yes.
And I know you haven't watched What If, Jason, but What If's worth watching just for the episode where T'Challa becomes Star-Lord. And it's still Chadwick Boseman. It was like one of the last things he did as an actor.
Wow.
And it's really good. We have Infinity War. Whew. It's these are gonna be tough to rank.
It's a heavy hitter.
It's a heavy hitter. It's
you put it in dog shit tier.
I think it's an S tier movie.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be up here somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Because
I might put it in the front.
Yeah. Put it in the front. I think it's.
And you know what? We're gonna put Endgame up there too.
Yeah.
Because I just think combined the what they did with those movies
is unparalleled in cinema.
It's incredible. It's it's not The Godfather or anything, but it's like just juggling all of these characters and all these stories and putting them together in a way that's action packed and cohesive and fun. It's really tough to do.
Yeah.
And we'll get into more detail on those And maybe we'll lower them a little bit when we watch them again and talk about them. But I just think they're both some of the highest caliber movies that Marvel's ever done. Obviously,
even just the energy around those movies when they came out was just like unmatched to any movie I've ever seen in my fucking life, dude.
Yep.
The smallest thing would happen, and everybody in the theater's fucking clapping and cheering. I was fucking clapping and cheering, bro. Like, that shit was so fucking... Oh my god, those movies
Infinity
are so
War,
good.
I saw twice in the first week.
Yeah.
And both times when Spider-Man dusts, I cried.
Yeah.
The second time, I knew it was fucking coming.
Yeah.
It wasn't a surprise.
No, I just started crying earlier because I knew it was coming.
Right. Seeing Infinity War the first time was such an emotional experience for me.
Yeah.
Even more so than Endgame. That's why I'm put it in front of Endgame. I think it's a better movie than Endgame. I think they're both really good, but I think Infinity War is the better movie, even though Endgame kind of closes the story. I just think what they did is so well done.
Yeah.
And obviously we weren't sitting there after the movie going, wait, Spider-Man's not gonna come back. Like, we knew that.
Yeah, even knowing,
But like, just even knowing, it was just so well done. So good. Okay, moving on. We have Ant-Man and the Wasp. Whew.
Yeah, going from the two best movies to Ant-Man and the Wasp is hard.
It is.
But that's what actually happened IRL. And I feel like it was a well-needed, like, more chill. The stakes don't feel as high.
It lowered it.
Even the bad guy's not really a bad person. Like,
yeah, I to be honest with you, don't remember much about this movie.
Pretty much, there's the chick who's like stuck
I remember
she's Ghost.
She's the ghost lady.
And then they also rescue
the ant playing the rock band drum.
That's it. That shit's sick. But also saving her mom was like the other part of it,
Michelle
right?
Pfeiffer. And it sets up Endgame.
Yes.
That's all I really remember about it. So
that's pretty much all.
I'm going to leave the ranking on this one to you.
I would say I think I like it better than the original Ant-Man.
So right above it?
Yeah.
B tier?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it just like they kind of figured out what Ant-Man was in the first one, and then they just kind of did more, but a little bit better, in my opinion.
All right, this one I'm dreading. Captain Marvel. I do not like this movie.
I don't like this movie either.
and I know
not for the cringe fucking trog reasons.
Well, and
dude.
that's why it sucks. Because people that don't know us, and that's why it's a Patreon exclusive. People that don't know us will see this and go, "Well, they just don't like her because she's a woman," or she, you know. And it's like, no, like, or they don't.
I fucking love Brie Larson, dude. Like, what the fuck?
It's just this movie's not good. I'm not ready to talk about it, but I'm putting it down here.
Holy shit.
I got to save content for later. I'm not ready to talk about it, but I'm putting it down here.
Also, I haven't seen it in so long as well. So
hopefully, when I see it, I'll have a better idea of how I feel about it. But that seems accurate to me right now. Spider-Man: Far From Home, starring Peter Parker.
I really like this one. I really like this one.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Because
this is another movie that fooled me.
It's one of the first ones to actually be like its own standalone movie, but to reference the other ones, it feels like, in a heavy way.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're like, yo, because this happened, now there's like a multiverse, and like it feels like it kind of ups the ante on a solo movie.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it ends up being a twist.
Yeah.
It's really good. I really enjoy it. I would say
I thought for sure Mysterio wasn't going to trick us, and then he tricked us.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. Spider-Man movies just try to fool me. But Far From Home didn't fool me. No Way Home didn't fool me. I knew what was happening there. Far From Home fooled me. Where would you put it, Jason? I'd say it's an A to B.
Yeah, that's where I'm sitting. I'm thinking either top of B or bottom of A.
Okay.
Wait, what is the last one in B or in A? I'm sorry.
That's Guardians 2.
That's Guardians 2.
I think middle of A. I like it better than Winter Soldier and Guardians 2, but maybe not as much as Civil War.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay, so we'll put it there. Next is Black Widow. I liked Black Widow. I think it ultimately falls into the Ant-Man trap of being a movie that didn't really matter on any way, shape, or form. Not sure why they made it, other than they were like, we want to make a Black Widow movie.
I feel like this movie, I would like this movie a million times better if it just came out earlier.
Yeah.
Because like our character's like literally fucking dead, bro.
Right.
Like I don't like it does set up
Yelena. And I love Yelena.
I do, yeah. I really enjoy Yelena, especially in Hawkeye. I really liked her in the movie as well. I liked the flashback stuff a lot. I really liked the family dynamic stuff.
Yeah.
But like it ends up feeling hollow just the entire time because it's like this person's dead and you're just trying to fucking put salt in my wound, but it's like I know you are, and so it's like it feels worse.
I think it's top of C.
I would agree.
No. I agree. All right, this one's completely on you. I've never seen Eternals.
Eternals?
Never seen it.
Eternals is pretty good. Eternals is pretty good. My main complaints with the movie is the finale. Okay, do you want me to like semi-spoil it or no?
I don't care.
So my main complaint is that the fucking deviant bad guy at the end, what the fuck is he doing in the finale? Like, it's one of these things where it's like, okay, he knows what's going on, but yet he's still making the wrong decision type thing. It feels like very slapped on. It feels fucking weird. That whole entire plot is fucked. I do like the twist with it, and a lot of the characters are very cool. I feel like they chose to focus on the wrong ones though. Like the characters that I thought were cool, like the speedster, she's super fucking cool. And how they do the speedster stuff in that movie is some of my favorite speedster stuff, period. Like compared to any other speedster stuff. I really hate how much they focus on like the love story in the movie because I don't really fucking care because it's like supposed to be about all of them, not just these two random ones. Like I get you have to make like a main protagonist and shit, but it's kind of weird. I would overall say I'd say it's bottom of B.
So behind Spider-Man?
Behind Spider-Man.
Okay. B, our biggest category. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Like it's a solid movie. The finale really fucking is weird. The ending, the two, I almost said final cutscenes.
Yeah, the secret cutscenes.
The two secret endings. Those were really cool. I liked those.
Okay. I'm excited to watch it for the first time.
Yeah.
Up next, we have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, a movie I love.
I fucking love this movie, dude.
I'm ready to say it's an S tier.
Me too.
But our argument's going to come between is Iron Man a better movie or not? And I say yes. You say no. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because I love you.
Wait, you I think you said it in reverse. You said
yeah, you knew what I meant. I like Iron Man better.
I think it's better than Iron Man.
Right. But I'm gonna put it there.
I don't think it's better than Ragnarok.
Right. But it's a really good movie. We'll talk about it more when we watch it again.
Yes.
But it's really well done. It's almost like an Marvel's some of the action is just very anime. Like there's literally scenes that like if you pulled out a Dragon Ball manga from wherever and you just see those scenes in the movie. And it's really cool. I really enjoyed I really enjoyed Shang-Chi. And then finally for movies we have Spider-Man No Way Home, which is a very recent development, but this is also an S tier movie, Jason.
Yeah, I would say it's an S tier movie as well.
And I think it's up here with the
Infinity
Wars.
Shit.
Because like we described with Infinity War and Endgame, they were big events. Spider-Man No Way Home was almost as big an event as these two movies to me.
Yeah.
And the way they tied things into different Spider-Mans.
A lot happened in one fucking movie, dude.
Well, and I'm even I guess I'll pose this question to you now. Are we putting the old Spider-Man movies in? Because technically, they apply, right?
Yeah, I guess. Especially since they've put out like official art for them and shit, like canonizing them and everything.
Right.
Like,
that might be. We're not going to do that today, but that might be something we do.
It's like a later discussion.
A little bonus episode where we put them on there. I guess we got to have more information. Because if the rumors are true that they're making Amazing Spider-Man 3, then it does apply.
Yeah.
If nothing ever comes of that stuff, then I think it's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know that. I don't know. See, Tara saw Spider-Man with us, and she had never seen an Amazing Spider-Man, so she'd never seen the Andrew Garfield at all.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment where she was the most like ready to cry was when he saves MJ.
Yeah,
Because even though she hadn't seen it, she understood because it's
that
so
it meant
well done.
so much to him.
I don't know that you really need to see those movies. It helps. So we'll talk about that more. We'll see what you guys think in the Patreon too. We'll have some comments from you guys and see what you think.
But yeah, and also for me, yeah, I really love the Doctor Strange shit, and it has even more of that in this. And so, yeah, and
definitely.
also like Loki type shit in it as well. So,
WandaVision, our first television show that we're going to rank here.
I fucking loved this show.
I really
dude.
like WandaVision a lot. I think it suffered slightly from like the whole like how's it going to connect thing.
Yeah.
And then it never really did.
Ended up kind of being a letdown a little bit in that regard.
But that
because it was like overhyped.
Yeah, it was overhyped. And also I don't like the subplot of what is the woman's name?
Agatha?
No. The Shield lady. Her mom was friends with Captain Marvel. Either way, I don't remember her name. She did a nice job, but the plot itself felt very Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.y to me.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like, oh, we need something else to go with this plot. Let's start creating new superheroes to go into whatever the next Captain Marvel movie is, which is fine. That's a thing they as you do when you make the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I didn't like it. When those scenes were playing, I felt like I was watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I'm not a fan of. I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm glad that they haven't done some shit where they're like, by the way, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon too, and Coulson's alive, and I just don't like that show. And so it made me think of that. But the
Monica Rambeau.
Thank you, Monica Rambeau.
I was like, why could I think of her last name, bro? I couldn't fucking think of her first name.
Yeah. However, I think the WandaVision stuff is of the highest quality, and I love that plot line, and I think it's really good.
It's really well done. The idea of it is really well done. Like it being a show that ends up it was shows she watched as a kid,
right.
And now
it's like
evolves.
Originally, the reason there was those doctor things is Doctor Strange was supposed to be the one reaching out to her, and they cut that.
Oh, okay.
So I think once they realized they were going to involve Doctor Strange and Spider-Man so much, they kind of axed that plan.
Right.
I think it's A.
Yeah.
Top of A.
It's hard because it's one of those things where because of how you consume it, it's a bit different. But I was literally staying up every night and watching it.
I think when we do these, we will consume
not every
them.
night.
We
but
will
like
consume them all at once.
Yeah. If in one sitting, behind Civil War.
You like it right there?
I think, yeah.
I like Spider-Man a little better, so I'm going to push it back.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. The Falcon and Winter Soldier. Have you seen this?
I have not.
Okay, so this is on me.
Yeah.
I like the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I like the dynamic between Bucky and Sam. I like a lot of the social and political issues it tackles. It's ultimately not a very large story, similar to how we talked about with Ant-Man earlier.
Yeah.
But I think it does set up things for the future in a nice way. I like the show. It's a good show. It's good quality television. That to me leaves it in the B tier. Probably we'll put it at the top of B for now.
Okay.
I expect that to change, but that's where we'll put it for now. Up next, we have Loki. Loki.
Dude, I really like Loki.
I know you really like Loki.
I literally watched it in one sitting because it was all out.
Yep. You started watching it late, and then you just watched it all.
I literally was up until like fucking 7 a.m. watching it.
It's good.
It was really fucking good.
Where are you putting it?
At the very least, it's top of A, if not the bottom of S, dude.
All right, we'll put it at the bottom of S.
Because it does, in the same way that it's like high quality and the idea of it is executed well, like in WandaVision, but it also doesn't let down in like how this shit is like it could be an all-encompassing thing.
Right.
Where there's so many different timelines, so many different Lokis, and Tom Hiddleston is a fucking god, dude. Like, even just going back to a character that you've played before, I feel like that's difficult. to like go back to where that character was, because
Right.
like you kind of evolve with the character, like to kind of become the character, but then to do that and jump back and forth as far as like who the character is now, and then like essentially going down like a different path for that character, and then like there's different versions of himself, and it's just done really fucking good. And also I'm sad that there wasn't a single wow
Yeah, that's true. There's
the
no
boy.
wow.
from the boy Owen
I really
Wilson.
like Loki.
But he's so good in that show too.
I don't really have a big complaint about Loki. I think the only thing that would make me go, okay, this is a little weird. Basically it's setting up how they handled the next phase of the cinematic universe. You know what I mean, with Kang.
Yeah.
And I just wonder how that's gonna work out. So
If they like do it in the like shittiest way, I think it will be kind of cringe.
right. So we'll see what happens.
We'll
with
see
that.
what they do with it.
And then finally, our newest entry, the just finished Hawkeye. I really
liked
liked
it.
Hawkeye.
I really liked it.
Do you like Hawkeye more than you like WandaVision? Because I do, actually.
I think so.
I think I do.
And I don't know
too.
if it's recency bias.
It might
but
be
I think I
recency
do.
bias. I want to put it at the top of A.
I think that's fair.
I think Hawkeye exceeded all
Actually,
my
yes.
expectations.
I can I agree.
I think Loki's a better show overall, but I think Hawkeye exceeded all my expectations. Throwing Kingpin in there is huge. Haley Steinfeld's incredible in her role as Kate Bishop,
Yeah,
a
she's
character I ultimately didn't care about before this.
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner is just the perfect Hawkeye,
He's so good.
especially like if we're going old man Hawkeye,
Like
he's the
fucking
perfect
beaten.
Hawkeye.
Deaf.
Yep.
Like he's fucking
The way they handle
Oh my God.
sign language and deaf culture is incredible, as
Yeah.
you know, as you would tell, as someone who knows a little bit about that.
yeah.
And just the Christmas motif just puts the icing on the
Yeah.
cake, so to speak.
Yeah.
And
I feel like it kind of had it for anyone who's played like the Arkham games. It kind of gives me that same type of vibe, if that makes sense. Like I feel like it's something where around Christmas time I'm gonna be thinking about Hawkeye. You know?
right, definitely. And the only thing I'd say is that the post-credit scene was a bit of a letdown. I understand
Yeah.
why they did it,
Yeah.
but I'm just not a fan of musicals, especially cheesy Hamilton style musicals like that. Yeah, that's right. I'm firing shots at Hamilton. Shit sucks. I understand why they did it, and if I'd rather them not show anything like for the future. If we just had gotten Spider-Man,
Yeah.
nothing they were gonna show was gonna be like as good as what Spider-Man did. Like the Moon Knight's in the crowd or whatever. You know what I mean? Like nothing they were gonna do was gonna be better. So I think it's fine they did that. I think a lot of people wanted to see that. I think a lot of people did not as well, though. So I think that's why they got some flack for it. But I just think the show is very, very well done. And I'm excited to watch it all in one sitting. Because that is definitely one I watched every time an episode came out.
Yeah. I watch like a couple at a time usually.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then Jason hasn't watched What If, and we've decided that What If, even though it is concluded in the series, is not canon at this point. So we're going to put it in dog shit. There are some good episodes of What If. There are some really bad episodes of What If. We will see if some of the Stephen Strange stuff that's in Multiverse of Madness ties in here. Because there's a particular episode that I actually like a lot. That's a Doctor Strange episode. And it seems like based on the trailers from Multiverse of Madness that it might tie in slightly. But I think that would be a very strange decision for them to do. I think a lot of people would be confused by it. So my guess is it's probably just a nod and a wink. It's not actually a thing. And if that's the case, it will stay in dog shit tier. Because it doesn't ultimately matter.
Dude, I'm like looking at our tier list.
I think it's pretty good, dude.
I think it's pretty fucking good.
I think it's pretty good. There's nothing. I'm looking at it, and
There's
I'm not,
nothing where I'm like,
finding, ooh,
this
that
is
was
out of
bad.
place.
The
Yeah.
only time I felt like that was where we had Thor, and we moved him down to
Yeah.
make up for it.
Yeah.
Eternals, we'll see how I feel about it, and we'll see how you feel about Falcon. and the
I
Winter
honestly
Soldier.
might want to bump Eternals down. I don't know.
Really? I was gonna say I'm guessing that's gonna move up, but
No, I think I might want to, dude.
you want to move it down right
Yeah,
now?
move it down, dude. Move
Where-
it down to top of C.
in front of Black Widow.
Yeah, like it's still technically in the same spot, but I don't know, bro.
No, it's not. That's not the same spot. That's not the same spot.
It's like kind of
It is in the order, but as far as C is C, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, guys. So, thank you for listening. This has been fun. doing this tier list. Like I said, the whole point of this show is we're going to really watch these movies and shows one at a time and then come back to you with an episode where we talk about that movie or show. And then at the end, we will see if it needs to be adjusted on our current tier list. Because some of these movies I've only seen once or have not watched in a very long time.
Yeah.
And same for Jason.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see where this ends up when we catch up on this. There's not a cadence for this. We're gonna record a couple before we put this out on Patreon, so you guys will have a couple for a few weeks there.
Regularly,
but it's not gonna be a thing where we release every week. We'll do our best to make it as consistent as possible, so you guys can have it. But our first movie, Jason, that we're gonna do is what?
So we did the tier list in order of how they came out. We're gonna do something somewhat similar, but instead of okay, well, got to get through all of the super old movies first. We're kind of going to do a thing where we kind of bounce back and forth. But we're going to start with Spider-Man because it's
Spider-Man No Way Home.
It's the newest movie and it's kind of the freshest thing. And I kind of want to go see it in theaters again.
Yeah,
and that's
so we're going to go see that in theaters and then we're going to record an episode where we talk all about it.
Yep.
What we love, what we don't love.
And then we're actually going to take it back to Iron Man.
Then we're going to go to Iron Man.
So kind of what we're going to do is okay, we go with the newest movie, then the oldest, then the newest, then the oldest, then the newest.
Or something like
that.
Also,
where it doesn't feel like you're like, shit. If you don't like the mid-run, like the sequels, if you don't like the Iron Man 2, the fucking, we don't want you to feel like you're stuck in, the purgatory that is, the weird phase 2, phase 3 transitionary shit. So we're going to hop around and just kind of make it as most entertaining as it can be.
All right, so shout out to Forklift Me Up on Twitter, who made this tier list and tier maker.
Hell yeah, dude! I think they're forklift certified.
They're forklift certified, and
that's hot.
Yeah, and then we'll discuss, depending on how the Spider-Man stuff goes, if we're gonna do the original Raimi trilogy or the Amazing Spider-Man, or even something like Daredevil, which we're not sure. Obviously, it's the same actors portraying those roles, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio. But we don't know if it's the same Kingpin and the same Daredevil.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see on that. I can tell you I don't want to watch Iron Fist. I don't want to watch I guess Jessica Jones.
I don't want to watch Defenders.
I don't want to watch Defenders. I've never seen Punisher. I heard it's good though.
No one wants to watch Defenders.
Yeah, no one wants to watch that. We decided that we were going to do this ourselves, and here we are. So we'll see you guys next time for Spider-Man Far From Home. Or shit. No Way Home. Stupid naming convention. They're not even talking about high school anymore. But we'll see you guys for the next one, and thank you for watching. And do we just say bye? Thank you for subscribing to our Patreon.
Yeah.
That's really poggers of you. It is.
It is. It is.
It's very poggers. I'm not being sarcastic. Yeah, anyway, bye.
Excelsior.
There we go. Yeah, that's a fucking Marvel thing.